Okay, there we are. Hello, hello. It's James Maduke speaking, trainingsites.io. Welcome to another open classroom, 1 o'clock every Wednesday. Live question and answer, and then sometimes I ramble if no one answers any questions, but that's fine. So, yeah, if you haven't been here before, generally what I do is I try and talk about anything related to starting, building, and growing an education business. And technically, no questions are off the table as long as it's about, hey, I want to teach online. I want to create content that is about sharing what it is that I know, like, and are super passionate about. So, what I'm going to do here is I normally have my Elgato Stream Deck with me, and it seems to be missing in action. So while we're getting started, I'll do my best to basically just see what I can do with the chat here. I don't know if I have the chat set up. Let me just work in the background here while we're doing. But in the meantime, just put in if you do have, if you're from somewhere, you got questions that you're interested in, stuff that you want to definitely ask about, put it in there. And again, I'll do my best to answer them or at least cover them and hopefully get to some of the places that are important to you as we're doing this. So there we go. Oh, good. We got a Stream Deck working. And if you don't know what a Stream Deck is, this is from Elgato. And let me see if I can get it off of the. So this is a little Stream Deck, and it basically has all the different scenes that I'm working on today. It was turned off when I started. It's now turned on, and I can switch back and forth between the different scenes. So yeah, so let me know who's here from hot Texas. Hey, Paul, thanks for joining in today. Patrick, Oxford, UK, another hello, hello. Hot Texas. Yeah, it's actually hot here to do today as well in Ottawa. I'm in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. We're actually 34, 35 degrees Celsius, which I think is about 90, in the 90s. So hot as well. And again, let me know where you're from. Give me a thumbs up just so I can make sure that I got everyone that I can recognize a name. If you're new here, thanks again for coming as well. Romania, very cool. Hey, thanks. Um, that's one of the things that's interesting too, is through all of this process, there seems to be, when I first started doing these sessions in early 2000s, when I was doing it on with Real Player and a Mimeo capture card or caption board, it was kind of cool because you could do stuff live, teach online live, but for the most part, it was like in North America. And now what's happened is we've got this absolutely huge worldwide market for any of the educational content that we're talking about. So again, very cool. Jeff, Mark, everyone, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Yeah, and let me know if there's questions. Obviously, that's what I'm here to do, is answer questions. If no one has some up front, at least let me know what area or topic that you want to look at. And the way that I kind of focus on it, I'll open this up right now because it's something that I'm working on personally right now. And you can kind of see where things are going. But for this whole education space, there's something that's, I think, is happening quicker than most people recognize. And it's this whole idea that we've now got a situation where AI is available to everyone. Everyone has access to it. The people that we're trying to sell courses to, the people that we're trying to teach to, they have access to the same tools that we do. So I think there's a little bit of a different thing happening in terms of traditional course businesses, where it's almost as much now we're going to have to learn how to teach people to use AI applied to what it is that we're doing in our learning community. And I was also thinking, just what's going to happen over the next 6 months or the next 12 months. I get lots of people that say, hey, I just want to start a course. I think a course is a cool thing. I want to earn some money selling a course. That is becoming, it's hard now unless you have an existing market and or existing customers who basically are just transferring over. But if you're starting fresh and you're thinking about a course only and course content, I don't think it's a viable business model anymore, and it's only going to get worse sooner rather than later. And just to put this in perspective, some of the stats that I saw over the last little while, I don't know if you're aware, Grok 4 came out from X or Twitter, whichever one that you want to call it, but right now we're looking at the computational power of all of these AI tools is doubling every 3 to 4 months. So, this isn't something that's going to change next year or the year after. This is stuff that's going to change this year. So we have to make sure that we've got our mind open to doing things a little bit differently. And that's part of the thing that I'm focusing on as well here. So Toronto, learn, educate, earn. Yeah, perfect. That's a good one. Interested in how easy to build a community when I start AI-powered teaching business. There we go. How to start with 0 students and a full campus and low subscriber base at YouTube from Mark. There we go. Okay, cool. And again, if I miss any of these, just be patient with me because, let me just move myself here. Technically, I'm here by myself, so it takes a little while sometimes to notice something if I'm not necessarily paying attention. There, I put myself in the middle of the screen. So yeah, we can certainly cover that one. The community, I'll touch on the business model first because, and this is the one that is, I think, France. Okay, that's very cool. I'm going to pull it, see if I can get this started here. One of the things that I look at the business models, or the way that I treat a business model now is upside to, is a reverse of a traditional funnel. So what I'll do is I'll try and kind of write it here and we'll get it going on my handy video pencil. We'll get that started up here and see if I can get it connected. So let me see what we got here. There we go. We got a pen. Perfect. There, that's better. Okay, so when I look at the business models now, the way that I was originally taught was this whole thing about, hey, what we need to do is you need to go and get a low ticket offer, some kind of giveaway to build your email list. And it started up as, some big traditional funnel that you were looking for all of these leads and you started to kind of get them into the funnel to some higher ticket offer. And that was kind of the way to go. It was like lead generation, lead generation, lead generation. And there was all sorts of things that you were supposed to do to generate these leads. And they would either buy a $7 product or a $47 product or some kind of PDF download or something along those lines. And miraculously, they would find your stuff, download your product, pay a little bit from your product, and then you could use some email to kind of send them and upsell them to some other product or service. There was something that you can actually have as a business. And I think that's the kind of key thing was, the old school one used to be this big kind of funnel, and hopefully you would get enough money at the bottom of it so that it actually made sense to do it that way. And at the top of the funnel, it was a lot of people spent time doing search engine optimization or trying to do joint ventures where you could get people in or buying ads. It took a lot of time, energy, and effort to get those people into the top of the funnel. So again, if you are selling consumer items or you're selling items that aren't necessarily in the education space, I'm sure there's still value in that particular model. If you're not, I at least want you to consider or think about doing it a little bit differently. And this is the way that I look at it here. So I look at it the reverse of a traditional funnel. And the part, and again, I'll do my best to actually have better penmanship and read this out. But I look at this in terms of making sure that I do YouTube videos as fast as I can, as many as I can about my particular topic of interest. And the reason I do that is I want to build out an audience, like a TV station. I want people to tune into my channel so that I can at least have the opportunity to grab their attention or at least get them to say, hey, I'm interested. And there's a number of benefits to this. One of them, of course, is that you're going to qualify people by the fact that they either subscribe to your channel or they've seen 2 videos or 4 videos or 8 videos. Right now, I think I have 500 on this particular channel. But you end up with people that are saying, hey, yeah, this is of interest to me. I'm interested in either the approach or the way that it's presented. And it's like I'm willing to spend a little bit of my time, energy, and effort. I'm raising my hand and you're part of the audience. And I think the offer now is not necessarily being a part of the audience, but you want to get people to be community members. So just that bottom part is like, how do I get people into my community? The way that I'm doing it is that every single time that I do any kind of content, I'll do this. I'll say, when you're ready, please come and join trainingsites.io/join. It's my free community. Everything that I do is live and in there for you to start, build, and grow your education business. So it's the very, very first thing on the descriptions on my videos. I mention it 2 to 3 times in the videos. And all I'm wanting to do is make sure that I can get people to be part of my community. Now, does this happen overnight? No, of course not. You have to do videos on a regular basis. You have to broadcast your message to a broader audience on a continual basis. Or if you don't do that, it's like you got to go and do traditional stuff and spend a lot of money to get people into your community. But the reason I get people into the community is because I have their email address when that happens. So let me wash that out for a second. So if you do that, to be part of the community, everyone had to add their email address. So this builds a list, but it also has people in your community getting value. So it's not members, it's not an audience anymore, it's members. So you've kind of raised the bar a little bit about what's available for them. And they've also got a chance to get more interactive or get more value than if they were to watch individual videos each and every time it was broadcast. All of the videos are there. Any of the notes maybe that I reference, prompts that I've used, examples of things, groupings of YouTube videos in courses. But that community, you guys paid with your email address when you join, and I have you in a community and I have you on my list. Here's where I think the interesting part is moving forward. You're going to have a couple other groups here. You're going to have these classes, and you're going to have individual classes and cohorts, and then you can have agency here. So these are different ways to monetize. And as the numbers get smaller, obviously the money gets higher. And that's the way I think that people are going to be monetizing, is having this educational experience or hands-on support. So if the question is, how do I go and actually build a business right now, even if you're starting from zero, I think you have to pick your lane, or the best way to get in front of as many customers as you can for free. Right now, I think that's YouTube. So I try and do as many YouTube videos as I can, and it's easy to get topics. It is absolutely easy to get topics. One of the easiest way to do it is to creatively plagiarize people that are in your space or in a complementary space and do what they do in your market. That's one of the things that I focus on a daily basis. Is I look at what's going on in the AI market, but I always say, okay, it's coming in the AI market. How do I apply that to teaching and selling courses in the educational space? A lot of people that I follow are all about the technical stuff on AI. I don't know about it, I don't understand it, but I know that people are wanting to learn how do I apply it or use it in an educational space. So you can creatively plagiarize, or the other thing to do is, I've talked about this before, and I'll make sure I put it in the recording for this, but there's a topical authority map or topical content map. And if you want to see that, give me a thumbs up and I'll show it to you. But the whole purpose of that is you can have, um, I've done some where there's 300 or 400 questions that your audience has already basically let you know that they're interested in. And if you pick one question and answer it, you're away to the races. You've got a piece of content. And I think the thing that's great about YouTube is, especially if you're in the educational space, you don't have to create big long videos unless you don't want to. You are much better off creating 107-minute videos than 5 1-hour videos. You're much better creating 7 live edit videos as opposed to produced videos that you get once a week. That's the other thing that I've kind of not prided myself on, but I did out of laziness and time constraints, as I do no editing at all on any of the videos that I create. So the only thing I do is that little Elgato Stream Deck to go back and forth between them. And that's the only tool that I use to basically, do live edits while I'm doing it. And it's easy to practice. Again, if you haven't practiced before, I'm going to show you the map in a second, but if you haven't done this before, the very best thing I can recommend that you do is you go get a StreamYard account or a Riverside account, and these are softwares as a service where you can do live streams and or just record them. And they have the ability to basically set up scenes like this and like this, and they're normally for doing live streams, but you can just record yourself talking with a Stream Deck. Go and spend a weekend, do 20 or 30 by yourself. You don't have to live stream them, record them, just look at them and go, oh my God, I did a really good job, or oh, don't ever do that again. That was awful. So, go and start playing around with YouTube, make videos, get in front of the camera, get used to the sound of your voice, the way that you look, the way that you move. Do it as much as you can. And the great thing is you're going to be crappy at the start, but it doesn't take long to get better. And even if you're not good yet, that's okay. I think one of the real gifts of getting a little bit older is you kind of care less about what you look like in your background, and it's just a little bit more fun when you care less about superficial things and just kind of focus on what it is that you're excited about and what you're passionate about. So let me pull this up in the meantime here. I'm going to pull up my map so that we have it. Let me do this one here. Okay, so I'm just going to pull over my browser. And this is a regular occurrence here on the browser. If you take a look on my screen here, um, this was a trouble ticket I put in, but if you cross the tabs, I usually have like a browser with 100 tabs kind of set up and working. And it's same thing here today. I'm going to pull up one. We'll talk about this one too. This is an app that I built again with Claude or Claude. It took me, maybe a couple hours. I'll show you how this one works. It's pretty cool. Streamline some stuff. But today, what I'm going to do is we'll pull up the site. And again, these ones, this page I'm going to give you, I'll include it. I'll include it before. Again, after. So if you go to trainingsites.io/docs, you're going to find one here. And these are a lot of the prompts that I have. And again, these are ones that cover all sorts of stuff that you would normally do when you're starting building your own education business, whether it's creating traditional course syllabus and lesson content, doing all those kind of things, examples for coming up with educational ideas or what should be in the content that you are. But the one I'm going to show you right now is, and I'll show you how this actually works. So we'll do this one. There we go. So this one is the content or topical authority map. So just go to the search and say content map or authority map, and this will come up for you. I'll try and make this a little bit bigger so that you have it. So I often call this, my 1-10-25 kind of rule. But these prompts, what we'll end up with at the end is a minimum of 300 topics that you can have either as a individual YouTube videos or groupings of videos or courses. This is all of the stuff that you could possibly want that people should be and or are interested in your particular topic. Um, a lot of times people talk about making sure you have a niche. I don't think a niche is a good idea anymore. I think you should have a topic, which is something that is much broader than a niche because they're all related. And I don't think you can really compete anymore on too specific a niche. And of course, there's sometimes that's not necessarily true, but in general, you should have a very, very particular specialty or topic that you're interested in, and create content and or lessons or experiences all around that. And I'll show you why in a second. So I'm going to show you these prompts. And again, I'll make it a little bit bigger so that we can see it. And I'll make sure that this page is open to everyone if you're part of the member. So what you need to do first is define the core topic, not a niche, but the topic. So I basically use this when it just says I want to create a topical authority map. My core topic is, and the example that I use and I'll show you is pickleball. I have another pickleball site. I'm a big fan of pickleball. Uh, and in the States, I think worldwide now, it's the fastest growing sport. But just if you haven't heard of it, it's kind of a racket sport for people who are chronically challenged or a little bit older. So I just said, please give me 30 semantically relevant but unique subtopics or content pillars under this topic. This should be useful for course lessons, community discussion areas, and workshop content. So basically what I want to know is if I like pickleball, what are all of the surrounding areas of pickleball that people would include and or are interested as they relate to pickleball? So I didn't go right off the start and say, give me everything about how to win doubles pickleball. I didn't do that. It's just pickleball is the topic that I want to do. And then from these ones, they generate 10 variations per subtopic. So, if I came up with 30 semantically relevant, but subtopics or categories and pillars, I can look at those, but I want to break them down. So for each of the 30 steps there, you're going to do it. So for this subtopic, give me 10 useful variations or angles I could use to create lessons, content, discussion prompts, workshop sessions that would explore a unique facet, challenge, stage with this subtopic. And then I basically say, give me 25 questions for each one, and then put them into learning tracks or community themes. So these are all here for you, and you're probably going, okay, well, what does that, what does that look like, or what happens with that? And I'll show you the pickleball one. And again, this is one where we did it. There we go. There we go. Where's my one? There it is, my pickleball friends topical authority map. So here's the one, for example, where, so pickleball is my topic, right? On this one, I'll move myself over to the side here, so hopefully we can get a little bit bigger. So I got pickleball as my topic, and then I asked for 30 semantically relevant but unique topics. And I've got pickleball strategy, pickleball trends, pickleball tips, pickleball equipment, pickleball rules, court dimensions, serving techniques, tournaments, history, injuries, drills, strategies, seniors, grip techniques, shots, community, fitness, nutrition, coaching, travel is a huge one for pickleball, etiquette for kids, championships. So for each one of these, what I did is say, give me 10. So the first one here was pickleball strategy. The next one I said is give me 10 different variations of pickleball strategy that address different search intents. So these are the things that, if someone's going to search for pickleball strategy, what are the other identifiers that they would use with it? So pickleball strategy for beginners, advanced pickleball tactics, double strategy, serving techniques, defensive strategies, court positioning tips. So I've got 30 here, and for each one, I've got 10. So there's 300 ideas right there. But here's the best part. I can break it into 10 different variations or trends, and then for each of them, I can say, I did that for each, I did 10 trends for a whole bunch of them as example, but then you can pick a little bit at the end and say, let me see if I got one. I did it for the first 10 here. And again, you'll see all of these ones. But I did one and I said at the end, I said, give me 25 questions about one of them. Hopefully I'll find it at the end. I did the first 10. So these are all the individual ones so that you can see them. Where we go? Come on down to the bottom here. Basically what I said after this is I just said, give me 25 questions for each of the ones that came up. Yeah, I didn't actually do the questions here. But here's the point. I had 300 there. If I had 25 questions for each of those individually, there's 1,000 different ideas that you come up with that has to do with pickleball. And the cool thing is with this, of course, is that if you start creating content about pickleball and you're looking at all of these particular areas and you're in your audience, you become an authority because you are covering a broad range of things about the topic that is of interest to you. So whether it's, personal communication skills, health, wealth, happiness, stuff that you do for pleasure, stuff, instruments that you play, stuff that you just are excited about that have nothing to do with business, you want to get out in front of as many people as possible talking about your topic, not one little niche. And you want to be able to make sure that people see that you're there, you're doing it. And if they have the option of seeing one super well produced, entertaining video or 7 videos that are covering a particular topic that is of interest to them, I would much rather have 7 chances to get involved with someone's business and or their passion as well, as opposed to having one that I spent a whole bunch of time producing, that I maybe had to set out, that I maybe did some kind of fancy and stuff edits on it. So, that's kind of the business model that I look at. It's like audience first, community members second, and then monetize by doing live cohorts, teaching, anything having to do with guiding people with the implementation and application of all of that great stuff that you've talked about. And to use AI to do that now, and help people use AI to do what it is that they're talking about. So let me give you an example of what happens here. In many cases, uh, if you've done this for a little bit, uh, there's prompts galore. Everyone has a prompt. But when you're doing a prompt or you see a video on how to do a prompt, you may come up with 1,000 different pieces of information if you're just trying to learn something, right? And then you go to someone else and they give you a little bit of a different prompt or a little different look at things, and you've got another 1,000 different questions. So it's been my experience that once people are interested in a topic, they will look for someone who has expertise in the space, but can also remove the overwhelm or provide a focus on not what content to learn, but how to actually do it. How do I make this happen in my life, in my business? How do I make sure that I'm taking the right steps? Or can you be there to help me to take them and clarify things so I don't have to figure it out by myself? And that's what people are willing to pay for now. Not the content, they can create it themselves. People want to know, how can I talk to someone? How can I ask someone? How can I get some help from someone? And I think in a community, when you have your own AI learning community, your own campus, that built-in ecosystem of your stuff and your stuff only, your frameworks, your processes, people are willing to pay for that. And yeah, it involves being there and being present. It's not just a membership site anymore where you throw more content in each month. If everyone can do the same thing, there's no value in a traditional membership site, especially moving forward. And again, there's variations on this, but for the most part, for most people who have a general product slash service information about it, there's not really too much that's unique anymore in terms of just content. So there we go. So what else we got there? So that's, again, those are all available to you. I'll make sure that in the campus, I'll put the link with this particular video that comes up, and we'll be able to go and use that. So what else we got for questions here? How to protect our special, okay, so level USB mic recommendations for tutorials. Um, yeah, Venick Farm. I love you, old man James. You're the best mentor in the world. Yeah, it's been at this a while, so it's getting kind of scary. I'm going to tell you a true story. I did a video up yesterday. Uh, and it was from, this is actually a true story. And I tell it in the video, so I'll put the link. It was the one I did either yesterday or today. There's my wife gets together with friends, every once in a while they come over for tea, kind of switch houses. And there's one of the ladies there who's 70 years old. And she was basically explaining to my wife how she was using ChatGPT to reorganize a room in her house for making room for extra grandkids. And she had took a picture of the room and asked ChatGPT to reorganize it so that they could add another crib. So here's someone who has no traditional business background that's in her 70s that is using ChatGPT to create content or answer specific questions. So here we have right now, I think there's probably close to 1 billion users of any of these AI tools combined across the world. So we've got 1 billion users had access to the exact same information for all intents and purposes that you do. They may not know how to ask the question properly, but they've got access to that content. So the question that came up here, one of the questions was, okay, so here we go. How do I, make my information or, keep it there? Let me just go and pull that one up here. There it is. So, how you protect your specialized knowledge and wisdom from being scraped by other AI or unscrupulous websites. So, Patrick, that's a really good question. It's one, hopefully, that I answered just a little while ago in another video that I did. Uh, I think the easiest way to do that now is to not teach the content, but to focus on your own personal frameworks and applying your frameworks. So anytime that you're doing something where you think, oh, I'm going to create a course, don't think of creating a course. Think of creating a duplicatable framework that you can teach how it gets applied. So people may be able to scrape the 10 steps, but they won't be able to scrape the way that you apply it with all of your experience. For example, for me personally, the framework that I use on a regular basis, or the one that I focus on, is the campus map one. My training sites map, just open that one up. In case if you haven't done it, please take a look at the community here. And I've got this one zoomed up, so hopefully you'll be able to see it. But that 10-step campus map, that is my framework. That is the framework that I use. It's this getting started, building, and growing. I've actually added the AI part in it. That's the one that's there. But these are the steps. These are the tasks. These are the processes broken down into a particular framework. And then if any one of you do these 10 steps, you will be able to start, build, and grow your own education business. That is more than a membership site. It's more than a course. It's more than a community. It's all of those things put together. So I think, if you're worried about your content being scraped, consider it scraped already. What are you going to do to make it different? Come up with a framework that you can use to make sure that it's your framework and the way that you teach it. And that can't be stolen because it's unique to you. And the stories, the stuff that you've learned about applying it, it's all there. And again, I did a video. Where was the one I did on this one? I think it was yesterday. I did one yesterday. Let me just pull that one up. And actually, it explains how to do it. And I have the notes on it too. So I'll show you that one. I did it. I did it. Actually, was it yesterday? Yeah, right here. So this one was stop building courses, start teaching with frameworks. I included the AI prompt in that one. So if you want to go look at that and explain the frameworks, it's all there. I think that's the way to actually beat worrying about my content is going to be stolen anymore, which is going to be a problem anyway. It already was. It's going to get worse as we do that. The cool thing with frameworks too, and I'm just going to mention this quickly. The cool thing with frameworks is when you're looking at frameworks and you're thinking of frameworks, the course content, if you look at just creating content, the course content that is static, it's dead by the time you actually create it. But if you have a framework, the framework is always valid. How it gets applied, or the strategies of applying it and the tasks involved in the framework, they may change, but you can change along with the flow, right? It's not like I create a course and then all of a sudden I've got to recreate the course because something changed. If you have a framework that you're happy with, you could teach the same framework from now, next year, the year after, irrespective of what's happening in the AI space. The way that the tactics are applied may change, but that's something that you're going to talk about and work on and have as explanations of how you're particular framework gets applied. So hopefully that helps out a little bit, Patrick, just kind of talking about that. One of the other questions here, Vibe Coding AI, can you share entry-level USB mic recommendations for tutorials, videos? So I have a couple recommendations on microphones. The one that I'm using currently, and I'll hold this one up so you can see it. This is a traditional Yeti microphone from Blue, I think it is. They have a number of them. The only reason I'm using this one and I don't like it I like it because the sound is okay, but it's in front of my keyboard, so it's not the easiest necessarily to type around. So it's like you're reaching over the microphone to get it to work. So it's there. I did have another lapel mic or a lavalier mic. This one was from Hollyland. And again, these links I think are on the resources page in the website. So this one was kind of cool. This one works really well with a cell phone, and you have to think about microphones from, what am I doing with it? Am I going to be recording on a smartphone? Am I going to be recording on my desktop? Is it only me that is recording? Is it okay if I have the microphone show up in the shot, or I do want it hidden? There's a number of different options there. The HoloLens Mark II that I have, this one is kind of cool. The way that it works is you can put this little adapter, into your computer and or the bottom of your cell phone. And this one, the reason I like it is, hopefully it won't connect or anything, but this one had this little lavalier mic that clipped on, and it has a magnet. So you just put it on your shirt and it actually goes on, and the magnet is there. So you can move around. It's out of the key, it's not in your way up front. There's two of them. So you can have, two people talking or basically if you're interviewing someone, it works. They even have a pendant that you can wear if you just want to have it that way. The other one is the ones from DJI. There's Rode has one that's similar like that. And I think DJI is the other one that has it. So, if you look at one of the common names, kind of pick one, but decide first, is it for the smartphone? Do I care if someone sees it? Or do I want it off of the desk, or is it okay if it's on the desk? Wireless ones are really nice if you, again, are going to be away from the desk and you're actually doing something. So often if you see someone physically demonstrating, they're going to be, not in front of their computer, but they still want it to sound good and not be too obtrusive or in the way. And those Hollyland ones are nice because you basically can't see that they're there. The other thing to consider just when you're thinking about microphones is the environment that you're in. A lot of the environments have, like it looks like a foam top or kind of like a fur bobble around the microphone. So you can get into trouble / have difficulty if there's additional wind noise or things that are going to be bugging the microphone. And whether that's stuff like clothing rustling or just, the natural environment, you want to kind of consider and think about things like that. So play around with those ones, kind of think a little bit longer, and you might have to play around to get one that you're kind of happy with. So there we go. So hopefully that helps there. So what do we got here? What are some other ones that I have? Patrick, there we go. Learn, educate. Live stream video recording. Please, the name, absolutely. She's a youngster. I'm 73. Thanks, Paul. You got me by 10 years, so that's wonderful. Okay. Another 73-year-old. That's something interesting too from the YouTube stats. If you do a bunch of YouTube videos, the age group or the people that are the ones that are subscribing to your channel. So that's a really good way to verify who has raised their hand and said, yeah, that's a topic I'm interested in, but it helps you know who you're talking to as well moving forward. So here's the other one here. So one of the questions was live stream video recording, and please add the name. So for live stream video, and again, these are ones that obviously are changing on a regular basis. I'll show you the ones that I use and or recommend. The one that I'm on, and again, I have the links for these ones. The one that I'm on is called Ecamm. I'm on a Mac, so I use Ecamm. This is a piece of software that basically runs on my desktop, And I have the ability, like right now, to do a live stream. I'm doing a live stream to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube right now. And that's just from my Mac Mini sitting on my desktop, and obviously a pretty good internet connection that's up. But this is on Mac only. They only have it for Mac. Now, the reason that I like this one is when I do a video, like I'm doing one now, I have the opportunity to do a live stream and record it, or I can do record it and no live stream. And this particular one also allows you, if you are doing recordings and or live streams, you can invite people in to the live stream. So one of you, I could invite you in, you would show up in the live stream. You basically go to a website, you have your camera and your microphone. You're going to be joining me on the call so I can bring guests in. And then the other thing is that it does actually have a connection to Zoom. So if someone or you have a Zoom call that you want, you can actually have it brought in to be part of your live stream and or your recording. So that's the first part. The second one is that if you want to do something similar, but you're on a PC, the one is that you can look at if you're kind of technical is one that's called OBS or OBS Studio, and I think it's called the OBS Project. This is similar to Ecamm, but it's software that you install. You can put it on a Mac or Windows or Linux. The thing with this one is it does stuff that's very similar. However, my personal thing here is it takes a little bit of technical expertise and playing around to get it to work in a way that many people are comfortable with. The other ones are the two other ones that are software as a service is StreamYard. So StreamYard works the exact same way that you're looking at before, where you can do a recording, that kind of thing. And on these ones, I think they have, where's the ones? Guess they don't show it. So it does a whole bunch of additional things like the repurposing and the recording as well, or just podcasts, allows you to do branding. But these ones allow you to have scenes. So you and a slide deck, two people or three people and a slide deck. So they give you the option of being able to basically do kind of that live edit approach and not have to do any editing. For Ecamm and OBS, ahead of time, you have to set up your scenes. In StreamYard, and the other one that I'm going to show you, which is called Riverside, so this one is called Riverside FM, which does something similar to StreamYard. This kind of one works the same. Again, very, very similar. All of these ones have preset scenes set up, and you can just use that Stream Deck thing that I was talking about before to actually switch between it as well. So Riverside, StreamYard are softwares as a service. Ecamm is one on your Mac. OBS is one that's on your Mac or Windows. Those two are self-hosted. The other ones are softwares as a service. If you're just starting out, my recommendation is just do Riverside or StreamYard and play around with it and have some fun recording yourself. So hopefully those ones help. You're going to need a microphone. Obviously, you're going to need some kind of camera. Smartphone is fine. Don't get hung up on the camera. I use one called the Insta360. And the reason I use that one is it does have tracking on it, which is kind of neat. So it works on a tripod or a gimbal. And technically what you can do is I can walk around my office here and the camera will follow me in the office, which is kind of neat. I don't use that too much, but that's why I use one other than just a regular smartphone. But if you have a smartphone, use a smartphone. When I first started, the part that I got is, I got these Sony cameras and Canon cameras, and getting them to actually work and hooked up was a nightmare for me. So if you're into cameras, obviously, and you've got one, you can use it. But if you're thinking, I'm just starting out, I need a fancy camera or a fancy webcam, use your smartphone to get started. It's more than enough to get things going. So Soulful Strategy Lab, perfect. And then we've got someone who's 35, a youngin. So Welcome all of you, and thanks for being open enough to share your age, which is kind of cool. So what else we got here? Who else do we have that's in the group or wants to share a little bit about what's going on? What are some more questions? What do we got for questions here? People have things that they want to copy about, or what else we got? There's video recording. What else? Anything else here for questions? Scraped USB microphones. Uh, yeah, so here's one. Uh, didn't have 24,000 subscribers, but Util will not monetize me. So seeking another way to teach classes. So I'm going to talk about that one because I think it's an interesting one. So if you say you have 24,000 subscribers, let me know in the chat. Where are those 24,000 subscribers? Are they only on YouTube, or is that someone where you have an email list, or is your business model only that I want to monetize directly on YouTube? So, one of the things that is very difficult, and again, this is something I suffer from. I'm not going to try and lie about it. It's really cool when you have a lot of subscribers. I know when I first started, the first couple times, that I looked at it, it's like 12 subscribers, 16 subscribers. Even when you have what you think is a good video, sometimes you get 2 new subscribers or 3 subscribers. And the thing that's hardest when you're first starting out is to stay consistent, creating as many videos as you can as fast as you can. And what I found personally, and from the people that I researched and that I followed, is it usually takes 1, 2, 3 videos that start to do well, that you can recognize this is the way that I need to explain myself about this particular topic with this kind of title and this kind of thumbnail that I get people to click. You're going to find that you're going to get a bunch of subscribers just from 1 or 2 videos. And in fact, that's what happened to me personally. I had one video at Christmas, I think, that right now has 170 or 200,000 views on it right now. But you may end up getting, 500 subscribers to that, 1,000 subscribers from one video. And once you get one that hits, then you're in the opportunity to start saying, hey, do more of the same. Even if it's in your topic, use the same strategy that you did for the video that works. And try and do it as often as you can, as much as you can, as long as it relates to your topic in that strategy. And then the thing I was really, really kind of excited about when I first started on this, of course, was I want to get monetized. Only if I could get monetized, I'm going to be financially independent from being monetized. Again, from me personally, uh, with 25 or 26,000 subscribers right now, depending on how many videos that I publish and how many of those do well, you may end up only with $750, $1,500, $2,500 in ad revenue. So if you're looking and you're saying, I just want to get monetized and I'm going to treat it as a business by being monetized and having subscribers, it's been my experience that although that is really nice to have that money, if you are going, oh, you know what? I want to get people into my community where I have an email address where I can sell someone into a cohort or an event or a monthly class or something along those lines. And I can earn $97 every month from that person or $47 a month from that person. And if you have 25,000 people on an email list and or who are part of a community, and you can get them to be in that space, you're going to earn more money in terms of a business as opposed to I've got 25,000 subscribers. So actually, that was a question I had, like, where are those 24,000 subscribers? Where did they kind of show up? How do you use them now? Where are they? Here's the other part of this. So got maybe 76, perfect. 254, and it started on school today with 15 members. Okay, so here's the other reason. Thanks for sharing that, by the way. So I got 25,000 subscribers on YouTube, um, but I have 254 on my email, and I started at school today with 15 members. So here's the other piece of this, just to This is the way I approach it, and this is the reason why I approach it this way. Not the only reason, the biggest reason that I have a community and that I focus on getting people into my community is that everyone that I get in my community is on my email list. So if you have 250 people in your community that is a free community, remember I give mine away as free, right? That free community level people, I get their email address as soon as that happens. So I don't promote courses. I don't promote specific events. I don't promote email like downloads. I don't promote PDFs. I don't spend any money on ads. I don't spend any money on search engine optimization or even think about it. All I do is I do YouTube and I ask people to join the community. And the big reason I ask people to join the community is that I have their email, and their email address is in my contact management software, which is actually in the community. So I use WordPress and a tool called Fluent Community and Fluent CRM. Those are WordPress plugins. Someone's in my community, they're automatically in my CRM. So community equals email address, and basically I give away a free level of the community. Now, if you have 25,000 people in on your YouTube channel, the big thing here is like, how do I get people into my community? Um, and this is a huge problem. I get lots of people that that are focusing on this as well. And they may have a business and a membership site, but they've got a Facebook group, and they think, "Oh, great! I got 1,000 people in my Facebook group or 600 people in my Facebook group. How do I get them over into my membership site?" And again, it's been my experience, it's an awful lot of work getting people to move over. For whatever reason, it's easier if someone's on Facebook just to go, doesn't matter anymore, don't really care. There's not any huge incentive for me to get over because I'm a member of 38 groups on Facebook. It shows up on my feed. So I look at it and say, I want to get people into my ecosystem, my own personally branded campus, and I want to do it in exchange for their email address. So if you've got a school, and again, if people aren't familiar with School, it is a course-focused, simple community, I guess you could say. But this is a software as a service that gets very highly promoted. For now, I would suspect that this will kind of slow down in the next year, like most of the softwares as a service end up doing. So you go to School, everyone has their own particular school. There's a free one that I'm a member of, but there's all sorts of different schools that are available. And it's like a Facebook group, right? And you can add some classes to it where there's simple classes, maybe a calendar, members, maps, leaderboard. So it's a very simple community and courses. So this is something that a lot of people use with a free level, and what they're doing is they do a YouTube video and they're basically getting people into the free level of the community, which I think is still a great strategy, is to do that. The only issue that you run into is if they are in your community, you have their email address, but where else is the email address? Is it in your CRM tool? Do you have control of that? Can you email them on a regular basis? So you want to make sure that you have the community part is fine as long as you have the email address that is accessible for you to market to them outside of School. So, I'm asking here, you got 254, you got School Today with 15 members. Are those paying members or are they free members? Do you have a freemium model or is it only pay to play? So that's one that it's interesting run into. I think I have one here. Think I have a community, but I didn't do anything with it. There's a whole bunch of them that are available. Which are the ones that I can get into here? Yeah. And that's the other thing too, is if you are in School, it is a community, but as a software as a service, there's, pardon me, I wasn't showing the right screen. I apologize. So on School, you're with 1,000 other schools, right? So again, it's kind of like a Facebook group that has courses, but it's still Facebook and it's easy to leave. and it's not your ecosystem. It's the school ecosystem, and you're in as part of it. Uh, and let me just go back to the one that I was actually in and showing you. So this is a Facebook group, for example. They have a classroom with courses, a calendar for events, a listing of particular members, something similar to what I have at trainingsites.io. But in my case, I have my CRM there. I have my project management. I have my help desk. I have my booking system for appointments. So it's all in one place, and I have the email address. This particular one, just an example, we got 10,000 members, 78 people online. They're doing very, very well with this. Uh, the other piece is, where's the email address? Did they have it in a CRM? Do they have it in a marketing automation tool? And then also, how do they promote to social media? If they've got the people that are here on an email address, how do they actually get in and promote all of that good stuff that they're doing on social media and leverage the stuff that they did on YouTube to get them going there in the first place? So 9 months of, I pay $9 a month for school. It's free for my members. I have the emails accessible. Perfect. Okay, if you have them available, just make sure that they get into some kind of marketing automation software. I've used ActiveCampaign for a long time until all the pricing changes happened. I'm actually a white label ActiveCampaign reseller. We've got clients on it. That's more of a higher end one, but if there is a connection from school to ActiveCampaign or Kit or any of these kind of ones where you can automate emails that go out on a regular basis based on user behavior, which is usually done with something called tags. That is kind of the optimal space where you're able to do that. So hopefully that one helps a little bit. I personally try and get everything in one system so that I'm not stuck connecting things. And I look at personally and just say, hey, I want to own all of this. And that's why I keep it on WordPress. There's lots of great other tools that have pieces of it. Some of them have more pieces than others. Some of them have pieces that work really well, but they're missing other complete sections. So it really depends on where the weight is for you with that. Now I'm going to do one thing just here because it's something that comes up again on a regular basis. And I'm going to pull up my map again. When you're looking at starting an education business, what often happens is people come on these calls or they come to the community site, and the first thing they're trying to do is they go right to this build part and they try and figure out, how do I build a community? How do I build my course? And please go and see that 10-step one, because you can go and start to build this, but if you haven't done the start part, identifying your business goals, figuring out who you're helping, and a minimum viable product, all of that stuff, that topical authority map, if you haven't done that yet, and you go and try and build a course or build a campus or trying to figure out which tool is the best one, I've never seen anyone do it successfully without doing that extra work up front. If they did do it successfully, it took people a very, very long time to do it because they're focused on the wrong part of their business. And again, this happens on YouTube all the time. I've had lots of people that get started on YouTube and they do videos and videos and videos, but they keep on doing videos that aren't working, that people don't like. So if you can find a way to present yourself and or the message that you have and the topic, or framing the topic in a way that people can identify with, find that and start working on it. And then start figuring out, how can I leverage what I already know and works? How can I leverage all of this work that I've done? How can I make sure that if I build something, whether that be a course or a community or a campus, that I've got the right platform to be able to do it? So starting with that YouTube stuff and the right market, the right people, the right story, start with that. The other parts will all come naturally once you're kind of doing that. So here we go. What else we have for questions? How long have we been going here? Holy mackerel, 59 minutes. I'll keep on going. Give me some questions here. Thanks, we go. School and members have access. Thank you, fantastic advice. Thank you, James, helps a lot. Okay, perfect. So is there any more questions? Give me a thumbs up. Anything of value here? You like this stuff? If you haven't already, here's my pitch. If you're just watching this for the first time, like and subscribe to the channel, and also go to trainingsites.io/join. Everything there to help you start, build, and grow your education business. If there's no questions, ask some questions. I love for you to ask some questions. If there aren't, I'm going to share kind of my thinking on some stuff that's happening that I think you should be aware of if you're going to treat this as more of a business. Now, let me give you an example. If I ask you guys right now and I just say, hey, maybe you've got a business, you're just starting out, or you're thinking of creating a course and selling some courses online, or you're thinking of having some kind of membership site, I just want you to ask yourself and then let me know what's going to happen in 6 months from now to that course if you focus on creating a course or focus on using some kind of learning management system or some kind of platform to deliver it from. If it's 6 months from now, what are you actually going to be doing and what are you actually going to be teaching people on how to do something? So think real long and hard about that. I had at Christmas, I did a couple videos on Google AI Studio where I was basically showing that the multimodal stuff, if you're not familiar with it, you can go to Gemini Live right now on your phone and basically show video, live video, and talk to the AI Gemini and basically say, hey, what is this? How do I fix this? What am I looking at? What should I do? What shouldn't I do? How does it work? So we're in a situation now where I take a static course or I pick up my phone and talk to my phone. So if you're thinking about just a course business, and that's available now on everyone's smartphone, a billion people, if that is available now, and things are doubling every 2 to 3 months, let's say 3 months, we've got going to double before the fall, and then it's going to be double again by Christmas in terms of the ability to compute stuff. That's the current growth of it. So if that's the case and you're thinking, I want to have a course business, where are you going to be in a course? How much money will you be earning by selling a course? What are the other things that I need to do to actually take advantage and leverage all of this AI stuff? So, just think about that right now and, kind of put in, what are you going to do? Are you going to create more courses? Are you going to create more content? What are you going to focus on? And, the thing that is exciting, Kajabi versus school, I'll talk about that one in a second. Um, yeah, Paul, another one. I think moderation might be an issue in community. Is it? Sorry, I had some more questions here. Yeah, so here's my point, and this is where my thinking is, and this is actually the research stuff that I was doing this morning when I was chatting with. Um, there we go. Actually, we'll talk about this one a second too. So here's one of the things that I'm kind of playing around with is I think in the education space, the a part of this is going to be using AI and AI prompts and AI tools and frameworks and not teaching the content to people, but teaching people how to use the AI and the application of it with our frameworks to get an outcome that they want. So it's not about the content, it's about how does everyone use AI to do what it is that you do or that you're teaching. And how do you can structure that experience for people so it's something that they enjoy and something they're excited about, because at the end of it, if they follow this, they're going to get this. So that's this year, 2025. There's going to be, again, my bet on this is we're going to have a bigger transition to these learning experiences, and the communities and the membership sites and the courses are going to be teaching people how to use AI the way you use AI. So not here's a basic prompt, but it's like, here is the prompt that you use for this step in this framework. And if you think about that, the work that you should be doing, or at least the work that I'm doing now, is I'm figuring out what are the appropriate prompts that should be used and how should AI be leveraged using all the cool tools that are available and coming available. How should it be used to leverage in the framework and actually get things done? So that's why I put in that, that AI part at the start here. when I was kind of talking about AI, start, build, and grow, I'm going to be spending more time in my business about teaching how to use AI in the start, build, and grow framework and in those 10 steps. What are the prompts to use? And then the live classes are going to be about, hey, here's the prompt to use. You need some help with it? Come and join the live class. You got to pay for that. It's extra. It's not free. If you want to figure it out by yourself, here's the prompt. But if you want help doing it or some guidance or mentorship on it, then you're going to come and have to join the Campus Pass and pay for it. Or I have a live event that you can join where we actually work on stuff. You got to pay for it. So I think that's kind of where the teaching model, or what used to be a course model, is kind of going. But it's going to be AI first, not content. It's going to be AI for generating the content and then the application with your framework. So hopefully that is that's the stuff that I'm working on. It's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens. A couple other questions that were there where Paul was asking about moderation might be an issue in the community. Moderation, um, here's my gist on first community maintenance. The biggest problem that I've personally run into that I always try and minimize in any of the communities that I've built over the last 20 years or membership sites. And I think the bigger one that I had was My Small Biz University. I still own those domains, but that one, the biggest problem that I had at the time was usernames and passwords. And this becomes really cumbersome if you have a billing system, which is a piece of software, you have a help desk system, which is a piece of software, you have your login for the community or membership site, which is a piece of software. And the biggest problem I had was supporting, I lost my password or I can't reset stuff. So that used to be a huge problem. It's less of a problem now, but in terms of support tickets, it's usually logins and billing issues. The other one, again, we were just kind of asked about that one is moderation. I haven't had personally any problems with that in community sites. I've had challenges with that in something like YouTube comments, where I may get crypto messages about stuff. But in terms of the community, yeah, it has to be moderated, and there's some ways of doing that. And most of the tools, I'm thinking of Buddy Boss, Fluent Community right now. Some of the other ones, I don't know about the software as a service, they have them, but there are ways of actually flagging them, and you have to be there. That's part of the gig. You have to be there yourself, and or have someone who is a member, who is an active participant as a member in your community. Either upgrade them or ask them to get involved to help out. And that's why you'll often see multiple admins, or at least people that are set to moderate. And the other thing I'm going to talk about on moderation, this is something that I find, I don't know if the word's hard, but it's something that you kind of have to wrap your head around. Um, Coming from a membership site versus a community site, one of the huge personal challenges that you have is that in a membership site or a traditional kind of course site, a lot of it has to do with you're the only one that has the answer. And if you're having a community site, I think the moderation is around people posting things that don't meet your community guidelines in terms of them pitching stuff. Now, in a community, I think the whole thing is you have to get people to be involved, which takes time, energy, and effort. But I'm trying to get people involved in the way that they've either approached stuff or the way that they do things, and sharing their experiences so that I'm not the only one that's answering them and the only one that's supposed to have the answers, because I don't have all the answers. But if you guys here and you've done something neat, you found a tool or an example of something that is really cool, or you want to try something out and you're looking for feedback, or you did publish something new video, you want feedback on it, you just want to show people, put it in the community, put it in the wins and announcements. Put it in events, stuff that's coming up. Ask questions in the general suggestions one. It's like be able to share your stuff and be open enough. And it's not the member moderating it and saying, someone asking a question and then feeling they have to give an answer there. So that's kind of that whole difference in terms of Where I'm thinking about moderation is not stopping people from prompting with things that I don't agree about or I don't think that's the way it works. It's getting a discussion going about what you're trying, why it works or why it doesn't work, and the experience that you had either applying it or not applying it. So, Paul, I don't think, is it an issue? I Again, your market, your particular people that join, obviously you want to, if you get people that join that shouldn't be doing what they're doing, you got to make sure you get a handle on it. And most of the tools allow to do that. So one of the questions had here was, do you experience of using Kajabi versus school? So here's, and again, I've covered these in a couple of the other videos. So when I look at platforms to deliver all of this cool stuff on, um, School and Kajabi, most of the tools do one of the things really well, and they're bolting on stuff, or they have a broad kind of platform that does everything but not things extremely well. So I'll give you an example. There's Thinkific, Teachable as an example. Those are really, really good platforms for courses. They're not the best platform for building out communities. You have other tools like circle.so, which I highly recommend, which is really good at community and not too bad at um, courses. And it's pretty good at events, which is great, but they don't have a great marketing engine to it. You have tools, for example, like the ones you just mentioned, School, which is a great freemium model, has those other pieces, the community, the leaderboard, the members. It's got a way to have some events, but there's not a real solid CRM tool built into it. And then there's a tool like Kajabi, which is a broad piece. It has, all of the pieces are kind of there, and they want you in their system. So technically, you don't even need. I don't think you really need a website. You can use Kajabi, use their landing pages or sales pages, have that basically as your website. They have marketing automation. They have courses. They have some basic discussion groups and things. So you could run your entire business on that, including the billing. Now, if you want to do fancy certifications and cohorts and maybe a whole bunch of real detailed stuff for courses, Kajabi isn't the best choice. You might want to go something like those Teachables and Thinkifics, or even LearnDash as an example, or BuddyBoss, or some of the more complex ones that are even higher end tools for those. So whether it's School and or Kajabi, I think the real question you have to answer yourself is, if I'm treating it as a business, where does that platform fit in to where it is that I want to start? So again, if you're looking at this kind of thing and you're looking at the start, what are your business goals? Personally, what are your goals? How much time, energy, and effort do you want to have in it? What is it you're going to be teaching? Are you going to be teaching one course? Or are you going to be doing live cohorts? All of those things. And if I do those, am I going to meet the revenue targets or the things that I have for that big picture? Not 3 months from now, but 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months. Is that platform going to be able to help me deliver what it is that I have the goals for? Um, so all of them work. All of them are great tools. You just have to ask yourself over a little bit longer time, does it meet the requirements for what I'm trying to build, not what I'm building right now? My own personal look at this is, and why I don't always use software as a service, is it's been my experience that many of the ones that I used in the past had a lifespan of, let's say, 3 to 5 years. And then all of a sudden there was something bigger and better. And it was like hopping from tool to tool to tool. If you are using billing systems and you do have a monthly subscription set up for your community or for your courses or for the members, the biggest hook in, of course, that any of these platforms have is that if you've got people who are doing recurring billing in one place, can you transfer them over to another place? If not, you get to the point where I got subscriptions in one tool, subscriptions in another tool, and then you're trying to figure out like which one's which and how do I manage access to the different pieces for each of these ones. So, take a look at it, think long term. Where am I going to do? What kind of business do I want? what are the goals that I have, and what is the platform that I need to kind of spend some time doing what it is that I want with that. So I've got a free school account. I played around with it. Kajabi, I've not played around with it in a long, long time. I know a lot of people still promote Kajabi and school. And again, it's kind of where you want to have it fit in and work personally. So what else we got? Moderation. Sounds community of private or social learning community. So Paul, yeah, so that community is an interesting thing right now. A lot of people are pitching community. I think of it more as a campus or a learning community because community by itself doesn't necessarily mean that you're teaching anything or that you don't have a framework that you're sharing or that you don't have an outcome that members of the community, if they apply the framework, they're going to be able to have the outcome. So I'm working really hard to get everyone in my community, this new community, to actually start applying those 10 steps and be able to do things. Am I doing it perfectly now? No. Do I need to work at it? Yes, all the time. It's an iterative process. It's not a one and done. It's like you talk to people, you find out where they're at, and then you figure out where are they in my framework and how do I spend more time there, or how do I position things so that it makes sense to those people that have raised their hand to be able to follow that journey to some particular outcome. So there we go. High level's another one, David. Thank you for asking on that one. High level. High level's an interesting one because it's really, really good at marketing, and it's not too bad with courses. But they didn't have anything for the community part, so they just started Go Collab, which is, I think, is actually another piece of software that they bought, and they're trying to bolt them on together, right? So Go High Level. I've got lots of customers that are using that. If you need a simple community and some simple ways to set courses, but you are doing the marketing stuff aggressively and you need to do marketing aggressively, Go High Level is a really good kind of answer on that one. And it works well. So if you have an account, you're happy with it, you're using it, definitely stick with it. They got all the pieces. Same idea with Kajabi. They've got the billing system and the membership area and the place for courses in Kajabi. They've got the automation. They don't have as much community. But if it does the part that you need to do, just go for it. That's fine. And understand that you're renting space from them. The course module is only going to be as good as what they come up with. The community module is only going to be as good as what they come up with. And you have to basically rent your space with them. And if it's a 2-bedroom apartment or a 1-bedroom apartment, there is no 3-bedroom apartment. It's like you get what you're in, you get to pick a 1 or 2-bedroom apartment. That's it. So, what else we got here? Who's got some more questions? Anything else going on? How long? What are we at? Hour and 15 minutes. There's no other questions. What I might do here. Yeah, so I appreciate everyone coming on. If you haven't already, what I'd love, obviously, is for everyone to go to trainingsites.io/join. Join the community. It's free. All of the stuff that I'm putting in here. And the part that I'm focusing on really, really hard over the next part of the year is the live sessions, getting those scheduled correctly and making sure that it's easy for you to get in those so that we can work on the AI prompts and tools that I publish and talk about and be able to help you get that education space going. And again, if it's just a course you want, hey, there's still stuff in there as well. If you're committed to courses, or you have courses that you want to update, I think there's still value in that, but just understand that a course and course content by itself, in my opinion, has no long-term value. It's hard to sell now on its own. It costs a lot of money to sell if you're using traditional, funnel sales methods. It takes time, energy, and effort on a regular basis to generate the leads from it, unless you have an existing business. And it's only going to get harder as people are able to create their own content. So go there. Hopefully you'll go join, and I'll do my best to be able to help you out. And I'll show you the page on this because this is I'm going to show one other thing before I leave. One of the questions that I had last week was if you are going to create a course or if you are basically going to put together some of these things, how do you do a sales page for them? And I was just playing around. This one was, I was playing around this morning, and it was basically, let me do this one and see if I can preview it again. No, this isn't the one that last one I did. So basically what I did is I'm in ChatGPT, just the basic model, and I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. Write me a sales page and create a sales page. And I was just playing around with it, and I basically got a sales page with my colors and my thing. So uh, it's very easy now to create sales pages when you're selling stuff. Some other examples of ones that I did using ChatGPT was, do this one. So I have a mentorship program, and that mentorship program, this page right here, this entire page was done with Claude. I think did this one. I basically gave it my colors, my fonts, a little bit of a brand information, and it basically created the entire page for me. So this is for a, a mentorship program that I have, a monthly one-on-one mentorship program, but it wrote all of the copy. The only thing that I put in was actually the link to my shopping cart, which is in WordPress, and basically to do that. But it created all of the content and copy here. I didn't write any of this, none whatsoever. The only thing I changed was basically the links to do the purchase. So I'm using right now when I have a sales page and or content that is not specific to the community, I'm just using an AI tool to write it. Just by saying, hey, write an HTML page that I can use HTML and CSS using this brand kit that I can use to sell this particular product. Make sure that you follow, standard best practices for web copy and layout for sales pages. Include a hero, FAQs, 6 benefit blocks, 5 feature ones, testimonials, but you put it in and you're basically going to get something like this. Call to action, put it in, and you basically get something like that. So I did that one for the mentor page. If you do want to get live access to those classes, I did another one here, which was to the campus. And this is exactly the same thing. I asked it to do it and basically came up with it and get started today. So these are just some examples of what's happening on the sales page site and the website kind of thing. This is an Elementor. I didn't use a page builder. Is it good enough? Yeah, it's not bad for the purpose that I'm doing. I don't want to win a design content. I want to have a sales page, or I want to have a landing page. I want to offer something for sale. I want to get people into my community. So that's kind of the other issue that's happening too, just while I'm babbling, is over the long term, I think traditional websites in the education space that are custom, visually designed, there's going to be a bit of a problem for that space as people realize I don't really need a fancy design. I need people in my community. Sign up for free. They're in my ecosystem. They're in my bubble. They've captured them. I can talk to them whenever I need to. I can share with them. They can share with me. It's all interested in the same stuff. So, having traditional websites with, about us and a benefit page and a features page and making sure the layout is all fancy and designed, I'm not quite sure how important that's going to be in the education space. If you're selling stuff in a shopping cart or specific services as an example, and you're not teaching stuff or you don't need any kind of community, it's obviously a little bit different. So that'll be kind of cool to see what happens with that. So any more questions? Last one. Going once, going twice. Let me know if you learned anything today other than thanks again. If there's stuff you want me to cover next week or there's things that you are interested in, just make sure to go to trainingsites.io and go to /join if you haven't already, and join in on the campus and get involved. All you need to do is put your username and password in there. And actually, I'm the admin, so it shows up a little bit differently for me. But once you get in, you're going to be here on the feed to actually see what's going on live and in real time. So thank you very much for being on there. Major source. Okay, I'm going to answer this one right now. How do you get benefited? I mean, what are the major sources of your income? Optional query. It's up to you to respond or not. Okay, so I will answer this one up front. I do have a document, and I think I think I identified 14 different revenue streams. Courses are one of them. I have ones that I get from affiliate referrals from some of the tools and things that I talk about. I get income from the AdSense income from some of the stuff that happens on YouTube. I also do joint ventures with people. I also get promotional income for some of the stuff I do for other companies. I do get revenue for some older courses that I have. I do have, and the big part, I'm going to be upfront with you, the big part for me is that I do have services that I offer and an agency service that is quite a bit more expensive that I do for people who are in here who don't want to do any of it themselves. I've identified kind of three groups. There's the DIY people, which are the people that get everything for free. You figure it out. It's here. It's all about this topic. You go figure it out. Here's the courses. Here's the prompts. I don't charge for that. But if someone says, I wanted you to do it with me, so that's the done with you group, that's the live classes. That's the one that I'm focusing on now. That's the one where it's going to be um, trying to make a little bit more clear for people. I'll probably add a monthly one in. That's what I was actually figuring out this morning, but we'll do it as a monthly one. The live classes are here. It's like a subscription. You go and you get involved and say, hey, I want help doing this. We work during the live session. So these are work sessions. They're not lectures, they're work sessions. How do I apply it? How do I implement it? So that's the done with you crowd, monetized. There's also the done for me crowd. I have lots of people that say, wow, you got some really cool stuff here. I like the site. I like what you're doing. I have some corporate customers that say, can you build one of these for my staff? Or can you build one for my resellers? Or can you build one that we can use to add extra income for us? So I have the whole agency side that we basically build these out and manage them for people. And those are the done for you crowd. So I look at it as DIY, done with you, done for you. And obviously the done for you is much higher priced than the done with you, and the other stuff is free. So you have those pieces, and then there's other income streams like templates, all sorts of additional pieces of software now. One of the ones that's actually come up just playing around with, I have two of them that are kind of interesting, but I'll show you this one here just because I have it. So here's one of the ones that I actually built just over the last little while, and this is how I'm repurposing YouTube. I did this one here actually just before we did. So what I did is I built this app in Claude, and I basically built it by prompting. And I basically said, what I want to do is I want you to take the transcript from one of the YouTube videos that you do, or that I do. I want you to use either OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, or Claude, depending on which way you pronounce it. And I want you to create a tutorial out of it. And I had 5 different kind of set prompts to create tutorials. And then I had the ability for a custom prompt. And what I did is I said, I want to put my YouTube video link in. And I'm using my own, but I don't have to. I can use someone else's. And I basically want to start processing it. This is the one from a video that I ran yesterday. And basically what it did was this. It got the transcript from YouTube, synthesized it by applying the prompts. And in my particular one here, I have copy. And I'll just open this one up here and we'll go take a look at it. So what I have here is a YouTube video, and then now I actually have a tutorial which you have access to, and it's not just the YouTube video because I also have everyone's using AI, your course is in danger. So this one used one of the prompts, and it's basically created out this snapshot, too long to watch, didn't watch, or too long to read, didn't read. So this has got a snapshot based on the prompt that I've done. So this was automatically created by an app that I built here. Now the next thing is I also have it sending out an email announcement with Fluent CRM to the list that says, hey, there's a brand new video here. So this is an application that I built. Um, I played around with it a little bit, took me a little while to do it. Next one will be a lot easier. But this is something, if you come up with an idea, you can start basically selling it. I did another one here, and again, I've done a couple videos on this one. So let me do this one. So here's another example of ways to monetize your processes and the things that you do. It's another tool called bolt.new. If you've ever heard of Lovable or any of those particular ones, let me pull up. I'm just going to pull up the project that I was working on here. What I'm going to do here. Let's do this one. No, I don't want to do that. So here's one here. Here's an example of an app that was built. And these ones, like these are called vibe coding ones. These are set up so you can actually sell access to them. So this particular one automatically creates courses from YouTube videos. It's one that I put together. You can have it set up so that it does it. And I think the repository is turned off on this one. Yeah, let me do another one here. Because I had a cool one actually. Where's that one? Can't find that one, sorry. I had one basically that allows you to take a YouTube video and it sends, or a playlist, and it actually sends out emails with a summary and links to the videos on YouTube. So you don't necessarily have to go to YouTube. You just say, here's my channel, you get an email every day. But if you charge $9 for that, it's a website, it's set up, the billing is all done for you. So there's another example of repurposing your expertise and your authority and using some of these tools that are available to monetize stuff that is in and around your community. People who are interested in the same topic that you want, that have the same challenges that you do. So there's lots of different ways of doing it. It's not just courses. So but the biggest part comes from me from the services that we provide and also the live classes and or mentorship. I do a lot of stuff where people say, hey, can I talk to you for 90 minutes? They pay good money for that. If they say, look, I want a month where we get together every month. So there's coaching sessions that generate a lot of revenue for that. And then the part that obviously I'm working on personally now is to have that kind of subscription model that is about live classes, not about access to content. It's about access to me and the implementation and application of the prompts and the things like that. So hopefully that helps a little bit. And I know one of the questions was about, I'm not monetized on YouTube. Um, I used to think that was important. I don't as much now. And again, it really depends on if you get a video that hits or doesn't hit. But if you earn $2,000, $1,500, $2,500 from 25,000 subscribers, that's okay. If that's part of your goal, it's just part of that stream of revenue. And if you want to get to the point where you're, six figures or well into six figures, have little pieces of stuff that happen as in an automated fashion or in a way that works with the lifestyle and the business goals that you have. Just kind of pick the pieces that work best for you. So hopefully that helps. What else we got? Or anything else before I leave after 90 minutes? Going once, going twice. There we go. I think we'll pack it in. Thank you very much for joining in. My name is James, trainingsites.io. We'll be back again next week, Wednesday, 1 o'clock. And of course, please like and subscribe to the channel and check out trainingsites.io/join if you already aren't a member. Take care and expect the best.